this afternoon's Court of Honor for Troop 179. I'd like to kick everything off with Daniel Witzel in the opening ceremony. Daniel?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay, thank you. Have a seat. We're going to do things a little differently this time. Normally we have the parents sit up on stage with the scouts, but I've been told that there are parents that do not want to sit up here with 15 other people for an hour. So we're going to have them stay in their seats and only escort the scouts up here after they're introduced. So first introduction is going to be from Michael Bilson. We'll introduce Brandon. Michael, come up and give us a few words about Brandon.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So I'm Michael Bilson. I'm Brandon's father. Here today to introduce my son, Brandon Bilson, to all of you. Brandon, he's been in Boy Scouts for a long time. His journey started when he was 10 years old. He was in Troop 1 in East Hartford, Connecticut, and I was there with him for a large part of that journey. I was an adult leader there. We spent a lot of time together, a lot of different activities, kind of culminated in a trip to New York City where we went with the troop, and we had a whole lot of fun there. It was a really great adventure. Then Brandon, we moved to Michigan about 6 years ago, and that was for my job, and he was totally new to the area, but he was a proud member of Troop 179, and he joined the Ventures and was a part of the Ventures unit for a period of time, and he worked to get his Eagle Scout badge as part of that. Also, Brandon was in the Sea Base, and he had an awesome journey in Philmont. Just an incredible journey in Boy Scouts, and he's a proud member of the Order of the Arrow as well. So quite a few accomplishments, and I'm very, very proud of Brandon for making it up to the Eagle Scout, and I'm proud to be here with all of you, so thank you.
Honor Guard, if you'd like to bring forward Brandon, please. Next, this is going to sound like, eventually going to sound pretty repetitive, but Connie and I will be introducing Sean Grinsell.
But I would like to embarrass Sean while he's sitting up here. So could the honor guard please bring up Sean first? Really? No tissue? Oh, stop it. It's always the quiet ones. Actually, my first memory of Sean, probably a good idea. My first, my first memory of Sean is actually his mom calling me to find out when the swim tests were, and then this scrappy little scout showing up for the very first swim test. Flash forward to an event we call Kickback. And at the Kickback weekend, it always happens, it's in the winter, and we're at registration out at Gerber, and he says to me, $20 says they call me Scene. And I said, no, that's it, your name is spelled sure enough. In front of the world and everybody, they're called out Sheen Grinsell or something, Scene Grinsell or something like that. So for the rest of his career with us, we would call him Scene the Bean, something like that. But even more remarkable at that weekend was his propensity to fall down. Until Cole Philibom arrived, or I should say since Cole Philibom, I'd never seen anybody to which gravity was just not their friend. He spent more time with his face in a snowbank that weekend than any scout I have ever seen in my life. I think there were events we would not let him do. We were concerned he would injure himself to the point of us having to take him home. And he discovered hearts, right? That was the weekend, yes. Again, a scout that just goes full head of steam into anything he learns, and that weekend was the game of hearts. And Sean and I will honestly tell you, we'll sit down and play hearts with you anytime, anywhere, on any camp out. It's our favorite game. I feel like my time with these boys is really short compared to everybody else. And while that's not necessarily true in actual years, it's because by the time I see them as ventures, their lives are so very full, whether it's school or sports or music. I just feel like I get gypped. And by the time they get there, sometimes there are hidden talents. And we don't find out until they're like ready to leave us. And for Sean, it was music. I didn't know he could play drums like that. I didn't know he was in a band that was playing at graduation parties. I didn't know any of this. I had no idea how talented he was. I wish I'd known earlier. And it was just some random event that I found out he could play. And I remember saying to him, I'm going to say I knew you when. And to top it all off, to find out how incredibly super smart he is. It's just amazing. Because of us talking about music, which I am not, I had this impulse purchase. What's it called? The kalimba? It is still sitting in my house 2 years later, and I can sort of play You Are My Sunshine if I'm really taking my time. But thanks for the inspiration. Bongos at camp. Who would have thought? So no matter how overpacked I am, sorry, hon, which is kind of a thing, I have to pack bongos if I know Sean's going to be at camp. And I never thought that would be something that I would fall asleep to and miss when it wasn't there. But Sean, in all seriousness, your smile, your kindness, your joy are some of the things that make me so very lucky to have you in my life, to have your influences in our troop. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Congratulations. I'm so very, very proud of you.
Didn't realize Connie was going to leave her notes up here. She'll be back, though. Next, I'll keep with Connie's theme and bring the Honor Guard priest bring forward Adam Clem. And will his father, John Clem, please come and introduce Adam. My iPad. Good.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'm pleased and honored to introduce to you our son, Adam Clem. Adam started in scouting as a Tiger Scout and has achieved Eagle Scout last year. His scouting journey has mirrored his development as a young man, for which we're very proud. Having been Adam's den leader in Cub Scouting, I had a front row seat to the fun activities and experience that they had. His den was a tight-knit group of 10 scouts that mostly carried through from Tigers into his new scout year. And there was just a lot of camaraderie among those boys. Moving into Boy Scouts, he soon established himself as somebody who leads by example. While Adam may not always seek out leadership responsibilities, he's commonly offered roles based on his values, based on the values and behaviors he exhibits. He was a key helper to me as I was involved in membership and recruiting during his Boy Scout years, and he was frequently my go-to scout for recruiting events, helping me even before he was formally a Troop 179 Scout. He participated in open houses and Webelos roadshows as a Webelo 2, chatting up prospective Webelos, telling them Troop 179 was great and why he was joining. One of my favorite stories regarding Adam was when he was a new scout and was selling wreaths for the troop fundraiser. He and I talked about how he was expected to knock on the doors of 100 houses, and we'd be satisfied with whatever the results were. So we picked out a large subdivision, and he started on a Saturday morning. That first day was pretty hard. Many people weren't home. Many people declined to buy a wreath, and I think out of 50 houses, he had maybe 4 or 5 sales. So he was dreading the next day. Sunday morning rolls around and you could see it on his face, not happy. That said, he did it, and the first house that he approached bought from him. And that sale just changed everything. It really carried him through the day with a great attitude, and he finished with $400 or $500 in sales. Even though he didn't really want to do it, he found a way to push through, had success, which was then self-reinforcing. Later in scouting, Adam was proud to have been invited to join the X-Men and for several terms of Bunyan. He appreciated the opportunity to be part of an elite group and carried himself well. These were times of rapid personal development for Adam, and he became a trainer and a leader responsible for other scouts. Adam has gained a lot from Boy Scouting. His mother and I are very appreciative of how he has benefited, and from Troop 179 in particular. He's conducted himself admirably from Tiger Scout to Eagle Scout, and we couldn't be more proud of the young man that he has become. So thank you very much, Adam.
Okay, the next scout I'd like the honor guard to bring forward is Joe Norton, and introducing Joseph Norton will be Connie Nye.
I know it says Joseph, but that's hard to wrap my head around. It's just Joey. When I asked Joey about what his fondest memories were, he came up with a list that I think sums up his character fairly well. And he's quite a character. But these were his top 5, and then he added one. Well, no, I added one. His Eagle Project, which he said was the hardest thing he'd ever done in his life. Becoming venture president. Not easy herding that group of cats, let me tell you. Winning the Bender, not once but twice. Hiking Baldy, which for those of you that don't know is 12,000 feet. And there's this really cool tree line on Baldy This is in Philmont. You think you're there, you've broken through the tree line, and you're just like, you're there, but it's really God just laughing at you because the rest of it is straight up and with no shade. So Baldy is a particularly wonderful experience. Florida Sea Base on the big ships, and Chief Pontiac Trail hikes. The one thing I put that you didn't was helping to win most cooking competitions that you had ever entered. But considering your passion for cooking, I also did look back and saw that cooking merit badge was something you didn't finish until last year. Just saying, you know? Savoring it. Oh, that's what we're going with now. Okay. But when I look at all of those things that he chose as his top 5 or 6, what I see in Joey is he likes to be challenged and he likes to win, and he meets these challenges head on, and he makes them goals, and he strives to reach those goals. Every scout has a passion, and as I mentioned, cooking seems to be one of Joey's. Never ate better than when he turned up for a camp out. He approached the most tasks that many scouts find arduous and boring with the same sense of adventure and challenge that he seems to do everything. Which again leads me to that, really, 2020 before you finish that merit badge? There's a other side to Joey that most people don't see, and I only got to see because driving him back and forth from campouts or just having time to talk to him is his, his devotion to his family, which goes both ways. He talks about his family with such depth and such love that it's something I wish all scouts and all children could have. And I think it has made him not only a better scout, but I know it has helped to shape him in the man that he's going to be, because you're not there yet, you know. You're going to do remarkable things, and I am proud to have been a tiny part of it, as is Troop 179. Congratulations, Joey.
And the last Eagle Scout we have tonight, can the Honor Corps please bring forward Geron Shafer? Introducing Jarron will be Connie Nye.
Keep covering up my papers. If I can get through this one. The first thing I think of when I think of Jarron is that very first summer camp. We were at Cold Canoe Base, where every day averaged about 103 degrees. And actually, it's not you that I remember as much as your dad. Was the largest man I'd ever seen staying in the smallest tent humanly possible. I teased his dad that he was tenting in a dog house. I don't know how he slept in that tent. I just don't, okay? But that's actually my first impression. And he reminded me that he spent that whole week, let's remember 103 degrees, in long sleeves, long pants, and everybody that's ever camped with him remembers that hat with the bug net. I don't know whether it was just an intense fear of bugs or, in your own words, I was weird. Okay, his words. The long pants and the long shirt actually became a challenge because the first aid merit badge counselor told him he needs to wear a short sleeve shirt. He was going to die. So his words to that counselor at the end of the week were, I didn't get heat stroke. And that was his major accomplishment for his very first summer camp. I don't know why you didn't get heat stroke. The rest of us were getting heat stroke, and we weren't dressed for January. When asked about his memories, again, there's a pattern reflective of the young man and what is important. He recalls making very bad decisions at the top of a ski hill, where him and, let's see, 4 or 5 of you decided they were good enough to go down a ski hill, where they all eventually end up just tumbling down and down and down, where they all decided that maybe taking a few lessons first would be a really good idea before tackling that hill. At least he figured that out. Kind of skipped around. There was a time when I feel like we didn't see you for a while, and everybody was asking about you. Everybody wondered, you know, what happened, where was Jarron? And we were at the JCC, and we were doing our yearly swim checks and merit badges and stuff, and I look up, and there's this incredibly tall human being walking towards me, and I didn't recognize him, and I was so embarrassed that I didn't recognize him that I actually asked around to find out who it was, then argued with somebody that couldn't be him. He got so tall, there was just, it wasn't him. Well, it was him. And ever since then, I think what really epitomizes Jarron and what puts his whole personality, if you will, into a nutshell is after that, he was everywhere. He went and took on a position called librarian and made it a real thing, made it a real position of responsibility that I don't think he wanted to give up, because he kept coming back and asking people for merit badge books, and he built us a whole library, and we've never had that before. And I just had never known anybody to take on that position and make it their own and make it significant. And I think that just really proved to all of us that there is nothing he can't do, even making librarian seem like a legitimate position. But I think that's the way you approach everything. I think if it's important to you, you just rock it. You just make it work, and you make it significant. And I think that there is nothing that's going to stand in your way, no matter what you want to do, no matter what walls you've got to scale. I know you're going to do it. And once again, as for all of you boys, 179 is so proud to have been just a tiny part of that. And for myself, I was so glad not to recognize the young man that was walking down the pool that day as being you. And so glad. To see you sitting here right now. Congratulations.
Something to think about as you look at these fine young gentlemen sitting up here in front of us. There are 181 NASA astronauts, 57.4%, that were involved in the scouting program, and 39 of those, 57%, were Eagle Scouts. Today at West Point, 36.4% of all cadets were involved in scouting as youth, and 16.3 are Eagle Scouts. At the Air Force Academy and the Naval Academy, it's around 25%, with 11% of each of those being Eagle Scouts at those academies. 189 members of Congress participated in scouting, and 27 of them are Eagle Scouts. And of the acting U.S. governors, 18 were involved in scouting as a youth, and 4 of them were Eagle Scouts. So you set yourself up for the leadership and the growth that Eagle Scout gives you by doing the work at this age. Proud of each and every one of you Scouts. Now to give us the Eagle Scout investiture and talk about their trip from Tenderfoot, from Boy Scout, all the way up to Eagle Scout is Dawn Dowds.
right, welcome. All right, to become an Eagle Scout, you have been tested in every area of scouting. Through the ranks of Scout, Tenderfoot, Second Class, and First Class, you were required to learn scouting skills. You tied knots. You found your way with a compass. Learned to cook, learned to camp, learned to care for yourself. Once reaching the First Class rank, you were ready to enter the next phase of scouting, learning leadership. You earned the Star in Life Awards by earning merit badges, successfully completing leadership positions in the troop, and giving service to your community. After earning the Life Award, you have been successfully trained for the next challenge that Scouting presented to you, the Eagle Scout requirement. Requirement 1 challenged you to remain active in the troop for at least 6 months. Requirement 2 challenged you to continue to live by the principles of the Scout Oath and Law. To prove that you have done this, you were required to obtain letters from individuals who knew you personally and would be willing to attest to your conduct as a Scout and a member of the community. Requirement 3 challenged you to earn 21 merit badges. 11 of them are required and 10 electives. For each of these merit badges, you are required to select and meet with a counselor approved by the Boy Scouts of America and show them that you are knowledgeable in the requirements. Requirement 4 challenged you to prove your abilities as a leader. You had to secure positions in the troop either by election or appointment and be responsible to complete the requirements of the position. You were pushed to be the best leader and meet a standard set by those who held it before you. Requirement 5 challenged you to plan, develop, and give leadership to others with a service project that gave benefit to the community. This project had to make a significant impact on the community and was required to be approved by your Scoutmaster, the Troop Committee, and the Michigan Crossroads Council. Requirement 6 challenged you to reflect on your future life and write a statement that included a list of all the organizations and affiliations that you had membership in that helped you prepare and make future plans by listing your ambitions and life purpose. You presented this plan to your Scoutmaster, who reviewed them with you during your final Scoutmasters Conference and determined that you were fully ready to become an Eagle Scout. Upon completion of these requirements, you came to the final step of your scouting trail, your final board review. Your troop committee conducted this board with a representative from the Michigan Crossroads Council in attendance. They reviewed all the requirements to ensure that you had met every challenge from Scout to Eagle Scout. They questioned you to ensure that you had met the aims of the Boy Scouts of America, to build character, train in the responsibilities of participating citizenship, and to develop personal fitness. At the end of the board review, our troop committee and the Michigan Crossroads Council forwarded your application to the National Council of the Boy Scouts of America, requesting a review of your application for the approval for you to be forever known as an Eagle Scout. The President of the United States of America and the President and CEO of the Boy Scouts of America signed the application for Brandon Bilson, Sean Grinsell, Adam Clem, Joseph Nordan, and Geron Shafer, officially making them Eagle Scouts. Congratulations.
Next, I'd like to introduce myself to do the Eagle Charge as I quickly search for it. As part of our tradition here at Troop 179, I ask that all the Eagle Scouts present please stand and come forward. All the Eagle Scouts on stage also please stand. Oh no, here comes Chris. Okay. Chris Ely on your right. Or left. There we go. I have the honor of giving you the Eagle Charge on the occasion of your elevation to the highest award in Scouting. This is an honor that only one Eagle Scout can bestow on another, and I take great pride in doing it. The Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most wholesome and significant movements in this world's history. You have been judged by the Boy Scouts of America as being worthy of this honor. All who know you rejoice in your achievement. Your position, as you well know, is one of honor and responsibility. You are marked men. As an Eagle Scout, you have a solemn obligation to do your duty to God, to country, to fellow scouts, and to mankind in general. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to not only yourself, but to your brother scouts. America has many good things to give you, and your children after you, but these good things depend on, for the most part, on the quality of her citizens. Our country has had a great past. You can help the future become even greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with a solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only toward the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the highest level of service to God and your fellow man. So live and serve that those who know you are inspired to find our living. We have too many that use their strengths and their brains to exploit others and to gain selfish ends. I charge you to be among those who dedicate their skills and abilities to the common good. Build America on a solid foundation of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence for God, and whatever others may do, you leave behind you a record which every scout would be justly proud. Eagle Scouts, I ask you to rededicate yourself by repeating the Scout Oath. Repeat it slowly as those that stand before you, your fellow Eagle Scouts. Scout sign. Amen. Two. Resolve to uphold forever those principles with the same ambition and perseverance that have brought you this far. Your conduct along the trail has been excellent. You have now rededicated yourselves to the principles of scouting, but there's one more thing that is important, and it's the most important, and that is your future. As an Eagle Scout, you will be a guide to other scouts. You will become an example in your community. And remember, your actions are just a little bit more conspicuous, and people now expect more from you. To falter in your responsibility not only reflects upon you, but your fellow Eagles and all of scouting. The torch you carry is not yours, but is also ours. Congratulations. All right, next we're going to have the presentation of the awards. Honor Guard Daniel, as we present each award, please bring their parents forward. Start with the Bilsons. Chuck, you going to say a few words before we? All right, hang on. Chuck's going to say a few words before we bring out the awards. Good.
Well, guys, it's been a long ride, and even longer to get to this point than usual. Several of these scouts have been Eagle Scouts since 2019, and because of COVID, their Court of Honor was put off and put off and put off, like most of the rest of our lives. But here they are today, and I'm more than proud to announce them to be Eagle Scouts and to be part of this brotherhood of Eagles that operate in the world and make things happen and everything else. Each one of them is unique, and each one of them has been a part of our troop. Our troop has 120 kids in it right now. A lot of young guys who look up to guys like this that come forward, teach skills to 10 and 11-year-old scouts on how to camp and how to cook and all that sort of stuff. They're the guys that made it happen. And each one of these guys came through like nobody else in the troop. And we really appreciate the time that they spent with us and the time that they're going to spend with us in the future when they come back to visit during their regular things that they do in life as they go off to colleges and other trainings to be prepared for the rest of their life. So, yes, could Mr. and Mrs. Bilson please come forward? Can you join them right at the center of the stage, pointing out to the audience? No, you're going to present. Yeah, he's just handing you stuff. Well, you go put it on her.
Boy Scouts of America, proud to award the award the rank of Eagle Scout to Brandon Mike Wilson, 179 Farmington Hills, in recognition of successful completion of all the requirements for Scouting's highest.
All right, Daniel, could you please escort up the Grinsels?
Scouts of America is proud to award the Scout of Eagle rank to Sean Robert Grimsel for 179 Farmington Hills in recognition of successful completion of the requirements of Scouting highest rank.
Daniel, could you please bring forth the Clems? Catches on quick.
Boy Scouts of America is proud to award the rank of Eagle Scout to Adam Michael Clem, Troop 179, Farmington Hills, Michigan, in recognition of successful completion of all the requirements of Scouting highest rank.
All right, and if the honor guard can please bring forth the Nordans.
Boy Scouts of America is proud to award the rank of Eagle Scout to Joseph Edward Norton, Troop 179, Farmington Hills, in recognition of successful completion of all the requirements of Scouting highest rank.
And can we have the honor guard for one more time, please bring forth the Shafer family.
Boy Scouts of America is proud to award the rank of Eagle Scout to Geron Shafer, Troop 179, Farmington, Michigan, in recognition of successful completion of all the requirements of scouting life.
Guys, before Jarron sits down, could you all come up and please face the audience? I would like to introduce to you Troop 179's newest Eagle Scouts.
All right, gentlemen, have a seat. Now is one chance for you guys to get retribution in front of everybody. So I hope you've spent long and hard hours preparing your speech. First, we'll have Brandon up. Brandon?
Bit of a tough crowd, isn't it? Wow. Where do I begin? I'd first like to give a very big thank you, even though they're not here, to my old troop of Troop 1 of East Hartford, Connecticut. Had it not been for the adult leaders and the youth in that troop, I do not think I would be involved with Troop 179. I especially owe a lot of gratitude to Mr. Tim Lynch, my scoutmaster, and Mr. Merdzak, who was one of the other adult leaders, as well as my father, who was involved in the program, for he saw me grow up and mature as a young man from the ages of 10 to 14 to now. I'd like to most especially thank my best friend, Justin Weimer, who, of course, is not here. He's all the way in Connecticut, or Rhode Island. Same thing, really. And he brought me in to a scout meeting so that he could get first or second class, whichever the requirements for. And had it not been for him, I would not be standing in front of you all, saying these things. And it goes without saying, but I'd also like to thank Troop 179 for allowing me to join their program 6 years ago as a venture. I'd like to extend my thanks to Miss Nye, Mr. Waldron, Mr. Williams, Mr. Schultz, Mr. Pernick. I'm very grateful for the adults as well as the youth in 179 that I got to meet, that I had to collaborate with, and the memories that I formed with the youth and the leadership here of 179. It's truly an honor to be in front of all of you. I won't be up here for very long, I'm sorry. Anyway, the impact of scouting. When I first joined as a young man, the age of 10 or 9, in Troop 1, I was a lot shorter in stature. I was very timid, very shy, and a little bit of a scared young man. And it really, those first 4 years or so, being in Troop 1 really formed me and really gave me the skills that I needed. And moving into 179, it was just a very smooth transition. And I'm very grateful to have been a part of both Troop 1 and Troop 179 for it's really changed me as a person. And I think as a young man who's going to go into college and make something out of himself, Lord willing, I will leave and enter the world as prepared, I believe. One of the things I think about frequently, at least when I was in scouting, was how great of a program it was, especially for young men and now young women. And I think it's scouting as a program, I think, is a great program for all. And I cannot wait to see more Eagle Scouts on the stage. At least if I ever have the opportunity to come to another ceremony. I'm very grateful for scouting, for it really changed me to be a better person, and it made me into the person that I am now today. Thank you.
No worries about being too long. Remember, the Gettysburg Address was only 180 words. Sean Grinsell.
First off, I just want to thank my family, the scouting leadership, Scoutmaster Chuck, Miss Nye, all the Troop 179 leadership, my friends who have supported me all throughout my scouting journey. I am incredibly grateful for you all. My mom and dad, they pushed me. To say push me is an understatement. They really kept me going, especially during the New Scout traditional period. They kept me going to think and just wanted me to succeed. And no matter how much I didn't feel like it, they kept me going because it's like, it's going to be worth it. And soon enough, later traditionals and venturing, it was worth it. I found my stride, and I'm so grateful that I chose to keep going. I still remember vividly the beginning of my 179 career. I went to, I think it was a meet night or something, kind of like an introduction to the troop. And I still remember vividly getting introduced by Brandon Sellers out in front of everyone. And I remember thinking to myself, like, ooh, this troop does whitewater rafting. That's so cool. I want to go with this troop. So, and I'm so grateful I did. Even though I never went whitewater rafting, there was a whole bunch of other things that I loved to do instead. And wow, I just had a really great experience. This troop taught me how to lead people. It taught me how to find my leadership technique, which I love, servant leadership. I love serving with other people. And that kind of culminated into my Eagle Scout project, which I built a handrail along with my dad and a lot of other scout friends who helped me along the way. And special thanks to Miss Nye's cooking class. I know how to cook meat in college and not get food poisoning, so I'm very grateful for that too. And personal finance, especially, no matter how attractive that 99-cent delivery fee is on DoorDash, I have to choose to eat my own food that I make at Target. So I'm finding every single day, I'm finding so many different connections from scouting, from merit badges that I did, from all the many things that I've learned from the great people that I met along the way. I just want to say thank you to you all. I'm so grateful for all of the help and support that I got along the way, and I'm so happy I chose to stick with it, and I'm so happy where I am today. Thank you.
Next up, we have Adam Clem.
I'll finally take this mask off. Okay, let me put my iPad up here. A little speech prepared here. All right. So, as really all of you know, my name is Adam. I've been scouting for 12 years. 6 of that was in Boy Scouts. I've only been with Troop 179. And my scouting career has been far from boring, and I could talk for a very long time about the highs and lows, but I probably shouldn't be doing that, so I'll make this relatively quick. First, I want to thank Connie and Chuck for everything that they've done for me over the last few years, not only for the opportunity to be here in Troop 179 and have all the experiences and memories that I have here, but also helping me really with whenever I needed anything or ever had a question, the small things that they were always there for me for. They helped me all the way to Eagle Scout, and I really can't thank them enough for everything and for 179. Thank you to my parents as well, my family, always very supportive and very patient with me, even when I wasn't as motivated as I should have been. I have definitely had my moments where I lacked responsibility and sometimes even common sense. But through it all, they were always there to help me regardless, and without them, I would definitely not be standing here receiving my Eagle Scout in front of all these people. I also met some of my best friends at 179 as well, some of which happened to be here. From Tuesday meetings to campouts to even wreath selling season, they always made the most boring and tedious tasks enjoyable. There were many times when we were up to no good, always getting into trouble, but those are some of my most memorable moments in scouting, so I don't really regret any of it. Lastly, I just want to say thank you to Troop 179 as a whole. I've learned so many lessons here, from servant leadership to communication, self-confidence, quite frankly, personal management, fitness, all the jazz. And this place has really changed my life, and I've made so many memories with this troop, memories that I definitely won't soon forget. So thank you.
Next up, we have Joey Norton. Joey.
So good afternoon, everybody. I just want to say that earning the Eagle Scout rank has been the foremost goal of scouting, and I'm extremely grateful that I was able to achieve this goal. An Eagle Scout lives the Scout Oath and Law in their daily lives. Two important aspects I'm internally thankful to Troop 179 and Scouting in general for instilling. My time in Troop and Crew 179 has strengthened the values I hold dear, being courteous to others, thrifty with my wallet, and reverence, deepening my commitment to God and country. It is because of Scouts that I set myself on a path to serving this country and the great people of this nation. As an Eagle Scout, I hope to spread the beliefs of Scouting to everyone and that continue to serve me well. I've had the opportunity to experience the best of what Scouting has to offer, from summer camp at Cole Canoe Base, sailing in the Florida Keys, to hiking the Chief Pontiac Trail and scaling the summit of Mount Baldy at the Philmont Scout Ranch. Most important and rewarding of all these experiences, my Eagle Scout project. The hardest challenge I've ever had to face. Because of the effort I put into this rank and to the project, I've understood the values of leadership, patience, and hard work. I am thankful to all those who have encouraged my growth and allowed me to be here today. From my new Scout year with Mr. Hansen, to the traditional programs with Mr. Fernquist, and my Axeman year with Mr. Williams. On to Venture Scouts, where I had the pleasure of working with adults who have challenged me to be a better person. I have to thank the two people who have given their all to Scouting, Mr. Chuck Williams and Miss Connie Nye. I'm forever grateful for your support and for believing in me on my quest towards Eagle. And of course, my family, who have given me more than enough support. My mother especially, who quite literally allowed me to be here today, making sure I took the day off. Thank you for your support and pushing me to become an Eagle Scout. I will appreciate you always. I will do my best in living up to the expectations that are set for the Eagle Scouts, and I appreciate everybody who has supported me in this achievement.
And now, Jarron, who's only last because his name starts with S in this alphabetical order. Come on, Jarron.
You saved the best for last, Josh. All right. First, I'd like to thank everyone and all the fellow Eagle Scouts for coming and attending today, for having this opportunity for these difficult times to come and do the Corps of Honor. Throughout my time here in 179, I had many memories here, of course, doing cooking with Connie and I. Thank you for teaching me. And many times I had fun with Mr. Schultz and Mr. Clem and then Chuck Williams of pushing me through to get through Eagle. I remember one of the times I was here, we was on a canoe trip, and me and Andrew Schultz were in the canoe, and we got attacked by a swan, which was fun. Yeah. Yep. And another time, as you said, a skiing trip. Yep. Ever genius ways of my young self, going down steep. Yeah. But back to the topic. Scouting, as I learned, offers many benefits and advantages in preparing oneself for life. I learned social skills, some hobbies and sports, and even some time management and planning skills that this program gave me an opportunity to learn. And in order to practice these abilities, Scouts required me to perform in the Eagle Scout Service Project, which I'm thankful that I learned these skills from 179 to help me get through that service project. Everyone knows that these service projects take very, very long time. It took me a year to get through and all the hoops I had to jump through, but I'd like to thank Mr. Wernette for getting me help me jump through these hoops, make sure everything gets signed off, and of course you, Chuck Williams, make sure I get all of this done. And I also like to thank my leaders for helping me get through this point in life, and I'll name and my scouting chief. I'd like to thank to a few, Mr. Leon, of course, Chuck, Connie, Mr. Clem, Mr. Rowland, Mr. Brown, and many of you guys I have not named. And it will also wouldn't be appropriate for me to also say thank you, Mom, thank you, Dad, for of course pushing me through and making sure you helped me beyond words I can put into of how to get through this. And thank you for pushing me so hard so I can get to this point in my life. Thank you very much.
All right, now that we've heard from all the Eagle Scouts, is there a reception? Okay. Okay, there'll be a little fellowship out in the narthex right outside after the ceremony, but now I'd ask Daniel Witzel and the Honor Guard to bring the ceremony to a close. Scouts' attention. This Court of Honor has ended. If you'd like to stay and take pictures, feel welcome. We'll see everybody in the narthex right outside the doors.